Okay, we're back. So today we're going to be making some jack-o'-lantern jars. Although this one is technically a bottle, but I guess it just depends on what you want to call it at the time. But yeah, I'm just going to give them quick clean off with a store brand glass cleaner to really, make sure they don't have any oil and crud on them since these have been sitting out for a while. And yeah, now we're just going to start with basic lines. This one has really cool texture on top and bottom. And then also top has these neat ridges. This is from some fancy brand of apple juice that was on sale. And I like the way the bottle looked. There's my English today. But anyway, yeah. So I liked the way it looked and decided, hey, this will be something neat. So I've had it for a while. I lost the cap though. It's got to be around here somewhere, but it's okay if you just leave it open. Maybe if you get real fancy, you find like not jar, this what is it? Cork or stopper for top. That looks good. But yeah, I just follow the ridges that's on the top. Go down for the little, ridges or indentations that you get on jack-o'-lantern. Okay, and what I just did is, if you keep squeezy bottle. If you keep the bottle you're using full, it works better and all comes out easier. I end up, I think, pulling all of these two off mostly. Like they look okay, but I decide I can do better. And that's one thing I really do like about these stained glass paints. If you don't like what you've done, you can just pull it off. Maybe give it a little wipe down, but you don't have to keep it. Like if you say, oh, this face is not looking or not drawn right. Just let it. You have to let it dry. Although you can get it off wet if you really want to, but you can just let it dry. Now here I am on the bottom, just matching the lines on the top. When we'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, just take your time. It's also a good idea to do not like I am doing, but like you should do it. But wait for it to dry a bit or completely. If you're doing top and bottom, that way you don't have to hold it all weird like I am with my fingers here. Which, while it works, it just kind of, it's a bit of a strain and you don't want it touching table. Okay, see, all right, I am doing ghost here, but here in a minute I decide, no, I don't like this face. So when I come back and it's dry, I just peel it off, get it a little wiped out, and decide, okay, I'm just going to start over. Bigger features. This one's going to be ghost. Nice spooky ghost. See right there where it kind of spurts out, made a weird part. And if I'd had better fullness on tip, I think it would have worked better. And we go back to the jack-o'-lantern, I don't like most of it, so I whip it all off and give it a quick wipe down with paper towel and glass cleaner. Make sure this bottle's full. Also, I can't remember if this is the one or later on, but I end up with a gunky bit, I think, in letting. Yeah, see, and now that the other side's flat, I can lay down on top of it and work a little bit easier. Work on it from top-down view so I can make it more even. Also, around this point is where I decided instead of just doing one face on one side or even two, I'm going to give it like a few all the way around. Although I kind of wish I'd planned that out a little bit more. Because these come out a bit and the ones on the sides it's a little bit small. But yeah, I like doing this thing sometimes where I have like happy face and then more creepy or sinister face. Also a good thing with jack-o'-lanterns is you can do something really neat, but just make them look kind of simple. Jack-o'-lantern triangles or maybe some square or some just kind of round shapes. Yeah, this face, it looks okay. It's supposed to be goofy, but I don't know. That one doesn't quite do it. And this one's better, but a little bit small. Now here I go. So when I do the lines around the front of it, instead of doing every line, because that would be a lot of reaches to it, I just carefully do in between every other one. All right, now we start to feeling it. This part is always easy. I will say as I do this and go along, I learn a little bit more about kind of squeezing out a bit, making sure you get it on the edges, but then instead of just really feeling it and glooping it up, which I have a tendency to do, you can use the nozzle to spread it out. Make it a little bit, more spread out and won't rip as bad. And if you think you need more, then you go back over it once the first one dries and you add more. But yeah, here we go, doing the basic faces. Then I have a neat idea for top and bottom. So instead of just painting all of it orange, I'm going to go through and add these streaks of yellow almost to the bottom. I was like, no, it's going to fall over if I do that. All right, here we go, filling in the eyes on the ghost. Take a break in a second, but I want to talk about, so this black, it's like it's the black I have, and it works fairly well, but you always end up having to put on like a couple of coats. And even then, even though it's really not opaque, light doesn't always move through it the easiest, you know. Plus, like, it gets kind of weird and can get blotchy under it, so I end up putting on second coat. It looks better. I mean, it ends up looking good, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to take a little break, drink water. You enjoy, I'll be back. To check in here for a minute. So I can't remember, I think I'm using the Snow White here, the one that's, you know, less opaque. Like, it's still a good color, but doesn't really work. The other thing that happens is I didn't have enough. So here in a minute I'll get like the front done and some of the sides, but I'll run out. It's not good, and then I had to go get some more. Just, you know, which isn't a problem, you know, you need to be a little bit careful. You do it on some of the colors. Like these, the white will give you a weird line. That's kind of hard to hide once you do it. But yeah, here it is going around, and then I'm kind of jumping to go. No, that's not the right brush. I get in a hurry, so I'm not waiting for the eyes to draw all the way. But anyway, also, well, you'll see in a minute, I decide I don't like this and start over. But that's one thing I really do want to point out. If you don't like it, even if you get all the way to it, you can just start over. See how it's kind of dripping down, and I'm trying to spread it. Okay, but yeah. There you go, just me feeling it over and setting it upside down. And all right, since we're back at the pumpkin, we'll go over. Yeah, see on the top, then I go with this, like, I think this is the real red. I just kind of go around like I did with that citrus yellow. You know, just make lines. You know, this would be a really neat one I get done. Okay, I take more break. I just want to talk about that for a minute. I'll be back.
The ones that stick around are the most bittersweet. I know it's getting late. The night is full of such mistake. I was hoping that you might want to talk to me. Card table outside, still sitting there. It's been so long, barely holds together. You can't really say what's coming tomorrow.
Alright, I'm going to be back. This is the color I'm adding now is the like a regular yellow. Alright, and here, I think I figured out what I did. I accidentally, instead of putting it on record, managed to hold down the photo button, which on this camera, this phone I'm using, works like camera. Yeah, I got bottom or top done, and now we're doing bottom. We can do it kind of all at once. The rest is pretty dry. So yeah, you start out with this. I started out with the citrus yellow, and then went with this I think it's flower yellow or daisy or something, the brighter one. And then I'll go back to it that red. And then here in a minute I'll fill around it with the orange. Gives it kind of neat look. So yeah, one thing I did want to do is make sure whatever the rough pattern I have, I keep up with it. So it'll be like, technically I like to think of it as the citrus yellow in the middle, and then the red on one side and the other yellow on the other. And there I kind of grab the wrong bottle. Yeah, go again. Yeah, when I put on the second coat of black, I run out, so I have to come back over and add some more in. And I have like, oh, I should have given him eyeballs. But yeah, that's what I'm doing here, just filling it up. Oh yes, and then I tried to go back over with the white to get the rest done. It gives me, like I said, a weird line. Okay, done for the second. I'll come back in a minute. Okay, now I'm just going in over the yellow on the jack-o'-lantern faces I did earlier, parts where it's kind of thin or looked bubble holes or whatever. Luckily the top and bottom have dried pretty well, so I can grab it. And now every waist I have like empty space around the lines I did on top and bottom. I'll fill those in with this pumpkin orange. So it all matches and has a kind of neat look to it. I kind of wish I'd added a bit of green, but it works out. And this is where I decided I don't like the ghost face I just did, so I do another one. And then how like on the other one, I kind of drew pupils after I was done. What is today? I decided just to give it to the eyes completely. And then yeah, so here we go. I should have waited until it dried, but I get in a hurry sometimes. Don't be like me. Just take your time. Let the stuff dry. It'll all work out just as well, if not better. So yeah, just filling this in. Yeah, that's really nothing else. I'm going in between. Like I said, anywhere I see clear space, I try to put something to on this one. Really covered. It ends up giving it very nice, I don't know, antique or classic, retro feel. Alright, so I got irritated with the whites I was using. And I ran out. And I was like, you know what might look cool is if I just use my etching cream to etch the inside of the jar. That will really give it a neat look. Like it's not even like super smooth look, but it's still, I don't know, it looks cool. It has neat texture the way this stuff works. And you can do it different ways and get it on smoother, but I like this. The only problem I have doing this one is I'm really running low on this jar before I bought a new jar. So I maybe I want to get it done. So I'm either using my paint scraper or palette knife. That's what it is, palette knife. Spread it around and getting as much out of the jars as possible. And then I take a minute and I raise up these raised areas because I have idea now that I'm going to use. This is not white. This is the holographic glitter. So it's got a cool little like holographic flakes in it. My original idea with it was to pour it on and let it kind of ooze down almost like candle. But then I end up abandoning that and just covering the whole thing. Although I do, and once again putting it on way too thick, maybe. But that's okay because I end up grabbing a sheet of parchment paper, baking paper. You want the parchment stuff with the silicone in it. So nothing really sticks to it all that way, if at all. And yeah, so I just go around and I might have looked neat with the drip, but this looks good too. And yeah, put it on the parchment so I don't get that glitter stuff in many more places than I have to. Poke the holes and then sit it down and just let it dry overnight. And see, now that it's dry, you can see how it's got this nice kind of foggy, ethereal look. And then I trim off bottom, pull out a new bottle of black and paint in the eyes and mouth. And yeah, that's really it. These were fun to make, and I hope you make your own. Just, maybe make them not like just like mine. Don't worry if you don't have neat apple juice bottle or whatever. I get almost all of my stuff from like pasta sauces and other things. Jars are pretty easy to find. And if you see something in a neat jar you want to use, see there's goes. But yeah, if you see something in a jar you think is neat and you want to use it, buy the jar and then you can just dump the contents in a nice Ziploc bag or other reusable container. Okay, well that's it for now. I will see you next time where we will do something just kind of like this but different. Goodbye.
The change is closer at the welcome of the dawn. The trees, they are singing tune of a song, and the wind is gently ringing the bell that brings the morning, welcome of the dawn. Though the warm days are over, they are not forever gone. Like the dust brings the night, the summer brings the fall. It won't be long till harvest comes. Morning brings the welcome of the dawn. Daylight is calling,